We're heading back to the Breakout wave of Hero Factory, a wave that's packed full of some of the best villain designs ever. But what if they could be built better? Well, let's check out some creations that reimagine these characters, and we'll see if they are indeed built better. Here we go. Let's begin with your favorite and mine. It's Core Hunter, and this is a revamp by Mr. Patron. So look, we all love Core Hunter because he's dark, he's evil, he's scary. It's one of the more like edgy and mature characters to come from this entire theme. But what could make them look even cooler? Well, giving them a hood and a cape. Yeah, especially like a tattered cape like this. I mean, the dude looks like the Grim Reaper. He's like an angel of death. It's terrifying and it's awesome. Some of these shots here, they show his face covered up in like cloth with a chain over it. I'm just kind of spitballing here, but I like the idea that this is like Core Hunter after a really big fight where he was presumed dead. But he survived, he just sustained like really serious damage to his face. So now he covers his face, and I guess some of his body, because he wants to seek revenge on the person who scarred him. He's got a new mission. I think that's kind of sick. We've also got this image here of him wearing Onawa's mask. Now maybe he also collects helmets and masks. Previously he collected hero cores, now he does this. And that's because his beautiful face was ruined by some hero. So now he's taking the faces of other heroes to get his revenge. I mean look, it's creepy, it's unhinged, but that's Core Hunter. He literally rips the cores, rips the hearts out of heroes. That was the story that LEGO themselves made for this toy, a toy for kids. Thankfully, the kids were totally on board with it and it was great, but look, it's deliberately dark. This is a great new direction for him. The other idea that I like for why he has this mask is maybe it's a bit of a disguise. It reminds me of this old deleted scene from Revenge of the Sith, where the clone troopers dress up in Jedi robes as a way of trying to trick the Jedi before executing them. Maybe that's what Core Hunter's trying to do here. See, that's the cool thing about this revamp. It gives me so many ideas and so many stories, and I think that's the sign of a good mock and a job well done. Now let's check out Speeder Demon. This is by Kalhiki Mox. Oh, this is fun. Instead of a bike, he's got a speeder bike. I guess that's a pretty good rule of thumb, right? If you add a Star Wars twist to something, it's immediately gonna get better. I appreciate how much this captures the same energy of that original bike, but it still does have that awesome new spin at the same time. But as cool as this is, I think the real highlight is Speeder Demon himself. Look at this. Check out the lower arms, I love how they have been made. You got some of these dark bluish grey armor pieces, these came on Pahotu Fantoka. And there are some gaps in these pieces, and because of that gap you can stick out this light bluish grey pipe. And it kind of looks a little bit like exhaust ports. I know, it's just got such a dynamic feeling to it. It looks really good. Oh, and then altering the extra set of arms that he has. On the original set, he just has 4 arms. But here they're like robotic enhancements. See, that's another amazing idea. I've always thought that Speeder Demon was this like mechanic who's constantly upgrading his bike and putting in all sorts of illegal modifications. So it's only fitting that he would do the same with his body. That's such a good touch. And this is such a good mock. Additionally, we've got XT4, and he's been revamped by Gunnars24. So the original set, it came with a ton of light bluish grey bone and limb pieces. Which was awesome, by the way. That set is a great parts pack. But he actually looks a lot better in black. Very sleek and stylish. He's also got a lot more armor this time. The original was very skinny and very bare bone, which was a good aesthetic for him. But this, I don't know. The revamp has somehow struck the perfect balance of skinny and armored up. If it was too bulky, it wouldn't look right, but this does look right, doesn't it? It's good to see a revamp that is taking things in a new direction, but doesn't stray too far from the source material. There's so much posability on this. It's delightful. Now for a build by Magmafrost13, and this is Thornrax. And this is quite the upgrade. It's awesome to see these new like splashes of color thrown in here, little bits of trans dark blue and lime green. I mean, just look at this thing. making the set like doubled in size, adding in more spikes, even some antenna, giving him the creepiest eyes ever, and a gigantic maw of teeth. Yeah, this really does look like a villain. And let's be fair, even if this wasn't a villain doing criminal stuff, I would still contact Hero Factory and say, please capture this terrifying bug because I don't want it anywhere near me. It's gross. And you just want to see that kind of stuff on a villain, right? Big terrifying monster. Oh, but I do like these eyes. Using those trans blue visor elements, that was smart. But take a closer look. You'll notice that there are some red crater on the inside of the eye. That's a very clever way of adding in a little bit more definition. Does make this look way creepier. And I also love seeing some of these Insectoid wings on the back. The original wings were cool, but hey, I mean, Insectoids was a bug-inspired theme. It only makes sense to use bug-themed pieces on a bug. It's a nice touch. Look, what can I say? I'm a massive fan of any revamp that takes the set and makes them way bigger and way scarier. Now for Splitface by Biophant Samurai. Dude, I mean, let's continue the trend of making them bigger, better, and taller. That's always good to see. And there's just something about a gigantic version of Splitface that just works. Especially because in the story, he was fighting Surge. And Surge was always one of the smaller characters from this wave. So it's cool, you've got a bit of a David and Goliath style story. Can this teeny tiny dude defeat the gigantic monster? Maybe he can. I know, that's a very fun dynamic that's been created here. So despite his size, I like some of the smaller additions. Adding in some trans-green claws right here on the torso, these originally came on Stormbeast. The shape of them and the way they've been placed. It almost looks like veins popping out of his body, like he's been mutated. And then we've also got two of Hali Anika's blasters on the gunmetal arm. See, that works well. This very much does feel like a bigger upgrade to the original blades that were on the set. And if the batteries still work in that, you also get that nice light up play feature. That would be great. This is sick. Now here we've got Jawblade. This was built by Labark1234. Hey, he's got legs now. And look, as much as I very, very much appreciate the shark body on Jawblade, well, it was always a little bit difficult to pose him unless you built a stand to hold him up. And even then, it was a little bit harder to pose him in any kind of dynamic way. But posing is no longer an issue here, and that's good to see. Plus, a half shark, half human design, that always works. Oh, but using Takanuva's mask for the bottom of the jaw? Genius! That's an excellent combination of pieces. Those spikes edging out of the sides of the mask, they really do work for shark teeth. And it's amazing how much they pair with the top of the head. It's like these pieces were designed to be put together. I love everything about this, man. Some good stuff. Reggie Gick is the next builder, and here is their take on Voltix. So taking an almost samurai approach. Very nice. Using these tread elements here, the ones that we see on a set like Wally, but they also come in a variety of Technic sets as well. Yeah, doesn't that look good? And the nice thing here too is that these are of course flexible, so they're not going to limit any kind of leg movement. There's also something so clean about all the lightning that's emanating out of their body. This looks a lot more subtle than the lightning on the original set. I've seen a lot of people say that the original set felt a little bit too busy. It's nice to see this tidying up the design, but still keeping the rough ideas. Yeah, things look very subtle, it's good. Although the whip is certainly not subtle. You will notice some trans light blue mixel joints that allow this whip to bend and flex. Sadly, they don't exist in that color, although I wish they did. But you can still make this in dark bluish gray, and I think it would still look pretty good. You just attach some electricity pieces onto the dark gray parts, and yeah, it'll look the same for the most part. It might not be as pizzazzy as this is, but it's okay. Still, that's the beauty of building a digital mock. You can do whatever you want with colors. Dude, this looks great. I think it's a fantastic take on the character. Over to Kenzai Mocks, and they have a nice twist on Toxic Reaper. Yo, check out these upgraded claws. They start off as these like big industrial pincers, the kind of things you see firefighters using to rip open metal out of crashed cars. But they also double as toxic waste cannons. I mean, that's so sick. And it's also a gigantic upgrade from the original set. I think this looks so much better. And that original set is great, by the way. But to perfect perfection, amazing stuff. We've also now got 4 barrels of waist on the shoulders. Previously the set only had 2. And then all this armor on the torso as well. Great idea to use some of these lime green Technic panel pieces. In this color specifically, these would have appeared on the Power Miners set, Thunder Driller. I think the idea is you use these as like mud guards on various Technic sets and different things. But honestly, they look way better as armor. Yeah, the larger size for Toxic Reaper is a good twist. I did like him as a little cheeky gremlin thing. But I say that, the mask itself is already pretty large. And it fits perfectly with a larger body, so it's kind of like this was just meant to happen. It's nice. And finally, let's talk about the Breakout Big Bad. It's Black Phantom. This was made by Utam04. Let's just quickly talk about the weapon. Because check this out, we've got a huge spiked mace. It's made with 2x2 cone elements and some system dish pieces. This is an amazing recreation of the original mace piece that came on the set. But now, it's way bigger, and maybe just a little bit better. It's good to see a larger version of the entire weapon, because when we look down the bottom, we had that very nice trans green and black blade. Here we've got a bigger version, and the trans green piece is actually the sword that comes on Rocker from Brain Attack. When you partner that with some other black pieces, it really does look like a bigger version of this piece. It's great to see these pieces blown up like this. That's a craft all in itself. Not an easy thing to pull off like they did here. I also very much enjoy how he has 6 spikes on his head instead of the 2 that he originally had. I feel like the philosophy for this mock really was, how can we make it bigger, better, and more over the top? Because that just works. They look like the final boss in a video game. You can totally afford to go over the top when you're designing this kind of character. I really like it. But I really like all these revamps today. I think they were built better. Do you think they were built better? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more from these builders, by the way, be sure to take a look at the links in the description below. You can find their social media waiting for you right there. Thank you for watching, you lovely people. I'll see you in the next one. Happy building, and bye for now.